we are all asked, I'm asked, because I get a chance to talk to you every single Tuesday throughout the last football season. AJ Hawk is asked, obviously, because his toxicness has been around you for a very long time. And we're being asked, like, what do you think's next for Aaron? Immediately upon it happening, like, what's next for Aaron? Everybody that is around you thinks the same exact thing. They say too competitive of a human being. The storyline in New York for the Jets was too beautiful. You had too much invested for 4 plays to be the end of the road here. We all say that there's no way that you would go out like that. Now, I know we're just a couple days removed and you're in the middle of recovery. You got some sweet curtains wherever the hell you are right now. I assume you're laid up. Have you thought about that, obviously? And how much has that taken up your mental capacity over the last few days?
Of course. I mean, I think a lot of that was like that night as I'm in the locker room. Before even an MRI, I knew what happened. I knew I'd torn my Achilles, and I had popped my calf, a few times, especially the soleus, and this was not that sensation. So I knew right away this was not a good situation. So, and I've known about this rehab. I've had friends who've done it, and fellow competitors that I know who've done it, come back from it. But I think what I'd like to say is, give me the doubts.
Yes.
Give me the doubts. Give me the timetables. Give me all the things that you think can, should, or will happen. Because all I need is that one little extra % of inspiration. That's all I need. So give me your timetable, give me your doubts, give me your prognostications, and then watch what I do.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
There's a bunch of New York Jets fans, more specifically Mike Greenberg, that went 6 to midnight right there.
Yep.
Hearing you say that. But I would like to tell you, just as somebody, you're too old, aren't you? You're 39 years old, bud. You're too old. The recovery is going to be impossible for an old-ass man like you. Have you looked into the recovery, and what is it looking like you're going to have to get to? And if you want to use me as the motivation, we need to see you back on a football field. That's how we honestly need to see. What is the recovery time? What are you being told right now, and what are the next steps?
Well, first of all, I knew that Kobe had done his Achilles, so I looked into right away. I mean, literally on the table Monday night, I thought about Kobe, and so I looked into. I'd seen Muse, but I'd forgotten that he'd gotten surgery the next day. I'd have a friendship going back many years with Dr. Neil Elatrash. Neil worked on my collarbone back in 2017, so I'd already texted him from the locker room, and then was just wondering how quickly we could get this done. I didn't realize Kobe had gotten, like I said, the next day. He did it. He called, I think, Neil that night. They were in the next day. I obviously had to work out some flight logistics to get out to the West Coast, but I didn't want to waste any time. Every day that we wasted was a day, longer for me not to be doing what I want to do. But there's a lot of different ideas about the overall length of the rehab. I think what I'd like to say is, just because somebody hasn't ever done it a certain way doesn't mean it's not possible. So I have definitely some odds stacked against me based on age. But I like it. Stack all the odds up against me and see what happens. It's going to be an interesting type of attacking of the rehab, because I'm drawing from all these different sources. I literally spent the last couple of days on the phone with people all over the country, giving me their time and advice, and I have calls today with a few other big names who you would know who suffered the same injury, just to talk to them about their rehab experience. So my entire focus and dedication is on acquiring the most information, and then adding to what I've already put together as a pretty damn good rehab plan that's going to, I think, shock some people.
Hell yeah. I don't know what Dr. Joe Rogan told you to do, but I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to hear it. We're all incredibly pumped to hear that this is your mindset. The recovery story, by the way, is going to make this entire thing sweeter in the end.
Hey, Aaron, so I want to know exactly, when did you have an idea that it was actually, this was a serious thing? I think I told you, hey, when you sat back down, I know people don't just sit down on the field with like a sprained ankle. Did you know at that exact moment that, hey, this is serious, it's probably my Achilles? And also, when you talk about your timetable coming back, what are you trying to say? You're trying to be the fastest guy ever to come back from an Achilles injury?
Hell yeah.
I stood up and put weight on my foot and felt like I had drop foot.
You know right
So,
there?
yeah, I knew right there. I knew that it was about 95% sure, unless there was some sort of lower soleus rip. But I was pretty confident that it was Achilles. And yeah, I mean, I think there's been some guys with some interesting timetables on Achilles returns, but we'll see what happens. It's just there's a process. There's certain markers we got to hit.
You trying to say you're coming back this season?
Yeah, what's happening? Are you coming back for the playoffs this year?
I'm not gonna make any of those statements. I don't feel like that's fair to myself. I'm just.
Is it a possibility?
I think, as Kevin Garnett said, anything's possible.
Wow.
Do you know what Greeny is doing right now? I don't know if you know this. Like
Rock hard.
Mike Greenberg.
Yeah.
He's swinging around,
Yeah.
making thuds on walls and
Helicopter
doors.
net.
Waistbanding it.
It doesn't do anything to make prognostications, honestly, other than help my own personal mental state.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna try and push this thing as much as it'll allow me to, and there's markers I gotta see where I'm at after a week and 2 weeks and a month and 2 months, and then we'll see what the conversation is from there.